Quantum TV
are charged with crimes against
fair use.
How do you plead?
Tickle.
Hello guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at just how piss poor Quantum TV's knowledge on fair use is, and just how reliant he is on the third factor of fair use, and I'm going to be giving Quantum a verbal pimp slap while we're at it. So let's get into it.
There is a massive problem and trend on YouTube right now. And this trend is simply put, steal someone else's video, re-upload it. When you get a DMCA strike, say it was copyright abuse. Whether it was or wasn't is irrelevant. Say it's copyright abuse.
Quantum, the people who download your video don't just re-upload it and say that the video is their own. They add gameplay and music to it and commentary to make their videos transformative, whilst also giving criticism, or in this particular case, how things work. Literally no one has ever just downloaded one of your videos and then re-uploaded it. In fact, I'll issue a challenge to Quantum TV right now, since he seems to be fond of issuing those to other people lately. But I want you to watch this video from start to finish, and then come to my channel and tell me that I haven't done something transformative with your original video. Can you handle that, buddy?
That's kind of how this has gone the entire time, and many creators struggle and deal with this. It is the most frustrating and annoying thing that a creator who actually makes their own work deal with.
Quantum, you don't make your own work. All you do is review televisions, and when you're not doing that, you're bitching about how the Act Man and Review Tech USA keep sending their fans after you. Literally, the only videos of yours that I have ever seen downloaded by myself and others are the ones where you spread lies and misinformation to people who watch your videos, and that includes the one that happened to beat your review of Elden Ring. Other than that, we leave you alone. Now, I'm not so certain what the AV community on YouTube does in regards to your videos, but as for myself, I only talk about where you lie. You lie in this video as well, so let's see what other lies about fair use you can churn out.
So I want to talk about the third factor of fair use. This is the most ignored aspect of any fair use legal defense or claim.
And the reason it's the most ignored legal use of fair use is because courts don't typically focus on the amount of work used. Rather, they tend to focus on whether or not the work in question was transformed. Is it for knowledge or criticism? Does it affect the person, company, or whatever's ability to make money off of it? And there are a lot more. But the reason as to why how much of the work is used is irrelevant is because courts, as I said, tend to focus on how transformative it is, rather than the amount used. Consider the other factors of fair use, Tickle TV.
And it simply states that the amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyright work as a whole should be considered. What this means in English is basically how much of their original video did you take. It's really that black and white. They even go down to detail on the YouTube legal help page that borrowing small bits of material from an original work is more likely to be considered fair use, right? So if you take little clips and snippets, that's more likely to be fair, okay, than borrowing large portions. But that doesn't mean that it's a slam dunk either, right? Because they go on to say, however, even small taking may weigh against fair use in some situations if it constitutes the heart of the work, meaning the main idea or the whole reason the work exists. But you guys like to take whatever you want and think that it's just justified because you can speak over it.
Oh good lord, Quantum, are you trying to get thoroughly tickled again? Firstly, when we download your videos, Quantum, not only are we talking over them, we add many things to the video to make sure that it is transformative enough to not get taken down by copyright abusers like yourself, because believe it or not, Quantum, you're not the first person who has tried to DMCA people fraudulently before. Second, the third factor says that borrowing small portions is more likely to be considered fair use, but it doesn't say that it is the only thing on whether or not it is considered fair use. Lastly, it's justified because you are allowed to criticize anything you want in the Western world, Quantum. Criticizing a shitty Elden Ring review, I'm sure, is more than enough to claim that our videos are fair use, which I think you would have figured out after you tried to hit the Act Man with a fraudulent DMCA takedown abuse, Quantum. Lastly, they state in the YouTube help section on fair use that only a judge has the final say on what fair use is, not YouTube. YouTube knows what fair use is, Quantum, so go back, watch that video, swallow your own medicine, and learn the 4 factors of fair use.
There's a reason there are 4 factors and not just one. They didn't say all's fair and well so long as you talk. That's not how it works. That's why Let's Play videos, where it's totally commentary of a gameplay footage segment, gets removed.
Let's Plays haven't been removed from YouTube for a long time, Quantum. Name me a single Let's Player that has had their videos removed in a long time where they have done literally nothing wrong by YouTube TOS or just had their videos taken down. A Let's Play typically has commentary thrown over it, and the gameplay itself is transformative because no two gamers are going to have the exact same gameplay experience. For example, There might be a point in one game that I love that you hate and vice versa, and I might try and go through that part of the game the way God intended, but you hate it, so you try to cheese it every time, just to give an example of something being transformative in regards to Let's Plays.
That's not how fair use works. The biggest injustice right now happening on the YouTube platform are two things. One, laws haven't caught up to social media. So there's no real way to go in the real world and really get you guys through the fucking ringer for what you're really doing, which is just antagonizing people you don't like and harassing them, right? Straight up defamation.
No, Quantum. People came after you because we thought you were guilty of a ton of things that it turns out, for the most part, you were indeed innocent of. But there are some things that you are guilty of, such as hate speech towards the LGBT community, and I have screenshots that prove it. And you have also abused DMCA, as we have discussed before on this channel, as I have the whole putting personal information out there bull plot. Moving on.
Alex Jones style defamation, okay? And then the other problem is that YouTube doesn't enforce for anyone but the biggest, most successful and well-off people, like Disney or other corporations. But everyday people have to fend for themselves. That's just how it is right now.
No, Quantum. You have to fend for yourself because you went after things that were blatantly fair use. It's that simple.
When that changes, you'll start to see this conversation more and more about the third factor of fair use that always gets ignored. You cannot just speak and say that that's enough. And again, I point your attention to Let's Play channels that decide, I'm going to play a video game and I'm going to show whatever sports team logo, I'm going to show whatever anime content, whatever movie, whatever I want, and I'm going to show the whole thing in its entirety. Because I gave commentary and I was talking while I was showing this, it's fine.
Once again, you're talking out of your chocolate starfish, Quantum. Let's Plays are considered fair use because the people doing them aren't just talking over them, they are playing it. No two people are going to have the exact same gameplay experience, and as such, it could be considered transformative. The only time a Let's Play would get removed is if it violates YouTube's guidelines. Show me a recent Let's Play that has been taken down by any company that is known for aggressively defending their IPs, such as Nintendo. Let's Plays are fair use, and the fact that Quantum is talking about them at all proves just how little he truly understands that A, YouTube has become much better in regards to fair use over the years, and B, gameplay is transformative. Learn fair use, Quantum.
That is not transformative enough, okay? You are still not augmenting the original purpose of that original video. You are usurping that market, and nobody is going to appreciate that.
Actually, they will. Most game companies use Let's Plays, with Nintendo of Europe, I think it was, who started using them as a form of free advertising. Now, to be fair to Quantum, some game companies will take a Let's Play video down if their guidelines on how much of the game you can play on YouTube or Twitch go, but most companies now turn a blind eye to it because it's free advertising. While they would be right to ask people to take them down, most of them don't for two reasons. One is the aforementioned free advertising, and two, the company that did that would have a huge mob coming after them. Remember what happened when Nintendo introduced the Content Creators Program back in 2018? I think that says everything that needs to be said about this bit.
Okay, the reality is YouTube outlines all of this, and they warn you. They tell you, A, to seek legal advice before claiming fair use, and they also tell you that U.S. judges determine whether something is a fair use defense based on these four factors, right? They also talk about fair dealings, but like I said, even fair dealings, if you look it up, will ask you, how much are you using? The amount of the portions that you are taking from somebody. How much are they? Answer that question.
They will also ask you, is it transformative? They will also ask you if it damages the original owner's ability to make money off of it. Or does it damage the original owner's brand? They will also ask you what is the nature of the work. They won't just ask you how much did you use.
You see, when I go in the copyright ID tool and I tell you it's because you took 100% of my video that I put in a DMCA claim, I have a good faith belief that you've infringed on my right based off of the third factor of fair use. That is not copyright abuse. Abuse is if I did it just because you were speaking or you used my footage. That's abuse. I'm trying to extort you, to silence you. That's what that is. But when I'm telling you the exact reason, because you did something that violated and infringed on my creation, that's not abuse.
Yes, it is copyright abuse because you only went with the third factor. You ignored the other three factors. You didn't even consider the third one at all. You're only using that one as a shield because you can't handle criticism, and that's all there is to it.
It's here on the legal help page at YouTube. Go take or watch YouTube's copyright school video. They even tell you as much. Everyone tells you that, but you guys ignore it. And instead, when you get DMCA claims, you send your friends and your fans to attack creators like me, and you say things like going after smaller channels recently. I'm not going after you. Your social standing has nothing to do with whether or not I act on my rights, okay? Whether you're rich or poor, the crime that you commit is still a crime that you commit, and it should be seen equally, okay? You are infringing on somebody's copyright.
No, we're not, Quantum. Fair use allows others to use your work for the basis of theirs. For example, I'm criticizing your piss-poor knowledge of fair use in this video, and I'm using your video in portions to explain the talking points and to prove that I'm not making this up. Fair use allows me to do this. Furthermore, no one is sending their fans after you, and the fact that you seem to be sending your fans after others seems to suggest you want the tickling to continue. You're the only one still bringing this up, Quantum. Everyone else has moved on, and you just want attention directed towards you. Get over yourself, Haas.
Don't do it. It's that black and white. Don't fucking do it. It's not okay. It's not cool. Stop doing it, right? You don't want to hear that. Instead, you want to resort to emotional retorts like, oh, you can't handle criticism, or you're just using this to silence people, or you don't know how fair use works, you can't handle fair use, shit like that. But it's a cop-out, because the truth is, when we really get you talking, you say shit like Klutzy King 552. Actually, we can use 100% with commentary over it. Learn fair use. No, you cannot. Fair use factor 3. The reality is, Let's Play channels, like I've been saying, have been getting taken down. Reactionary channels have been getting taken down.
Name these channels, both Let's Play and Reactionary, that have been getting taken down, Quantum. If you can, that is.
Fucking manga review channels have been getting taken down. Because as long as it's someone's copyrighted work and you didn't create it, and you think you want to give your take on it or your spin on it, and you don't transform it enough, you're not doing anything. All you're doing is running your mouth over somebody else's work.
This is coming from the guy who tried to claim the copyright for Deadpool because he wore a freaking Deadpool mask in his YouTube videos quite a while ago. I want you all to let that sink in.
Commentary alone does not remove the aspect of you stealing someone else's work and not transforming it. That's how it all works. That's called infringement. You're not entitled to take Disney's entire Star Wars movie, and because you want to pause and play, speaking or talking shit about certain characters or whatever, that's not fair use, right?
This bit is so funny I forgot to laugh because he talks about threatening someone's mother or father when he himself threatened the Act Man's mother. And the rules for thee but not for me is one he stole from Mischief's channel. Man, this guy's IQ is so low that not only does he not understand fair use, but he also can't come up with his own talking points. What a bell end. Also, I call bullplop on his whole not going after smaller creators shtick. What about when Mischief only had about 4,000 subscribers and Quantum had about some 60-odd thousand subscribers? He sure didn't seem to mind going after Mischief then, so why would he not go after a much smaller creator, it est me then? What would be one more notch on his ego?
Now, this concept that I'm abusing the copyright system because I don't like people or I don't like people saying things about me is ridiculous. While it is true that I do not like people talking shit for the sole purpose of doing it because they can, who would like that, right? That's like an oxymoron. Nobody fucking likes that. You kind of are answering your own question. You wouldn't like that. If I was fucking bashing your mother or your father publicly or anywhere, you wouldn't like that. You'd take it very personal, right? And the reality is, that's what this is about. This is about people who want to kind of have rules for thee, but not for me. That's what this is, right? You don't want a consequence for being an asshole.
For a guy who claims to know fair use, you sure have a funny way of showing it, Quantum. If you aren't trying to silence people, then why go after people who used your Elden Ring review in a way that was blatantly fair use? Furthermore, what about, say, Fritanga Plays, who altered your voice and removed the video from his reactions and criticisms videos? You didn't try to take down his videos. Having said this is one area I do agree somewhat with Quantum. I also dislike the idea of someone using someone else's work to make their living. It's frustrating to say the least, right? But I wouldn't know, so I can't talk about it. Personal rule and all that. Moving on.
I don't care. The problem is, you want to then pretend like there's no legal grounds for the claims being made against you. And there are. 100% of somebody's labor is not free. You're the kind of person that thinks that, like, somebody else needs to foot the bill for your life. Somebody else needs to foot the bill for something you want. Somebody else needs to foot the bill for your way in life. And that's what this is. Many of you content creators want to monetize other people's hard work, but you don't want to put the work in yourself. It's called entitlement, it's disgusting, and it's against the law, quite frankly, as outlined by Fair Use when they tell you this. It's on the legal help page. So again, you can sit here till the cows come home and say Quantum TV doesn't know fair use and all this other shit. You can do that, but I know fair use very fucking well, okay? I'm not confused. It's just 9 times out of 10 not worth it to go after a smaller creator that's not monetized, that doesn't really care about his channel one way or another, to fucking sit here and go through legal proceeding after legal proceeding. But that doesn't mean that you're not infringing on my rights. You absolutely are, and you are in the wrong. And YouTube doesn't like to dirty their hands. Okay, I get it. They don't want to take he said, she said sides. But again, they also are doing a poor job at making sure that everyday content creators are being enforced, while the same thing can still happen, again, through Disney or all these other corporations. And it matters more when it's them, and they'll remove your video then.
Again, Quantum, you review TVs. Who on God's green earth needs help figuring out which TV would be best for them? Now, I know that every TV is different and so is every house, like different lighting and the like. But the thing I want to know is, what value do you add to the platform, Quantum? It certainly isn't in regards to knowledge on fair use, because you have been spreading so many lies, misinformation, and mixed messages that all you're doing is confusing people on fair use.
You guys are just a glorified mob committee that go around harassing whoever you want. And YouTube, for the time being, allows you to exist, and I get it, but don't think that you're not going to be fought every step of the way. Us actual content creators don't want you here. We want you off the platform yesterday morning because you're not actually a part of the platform. You're the problem with it. You're the kind of people that literally can be told that copyright laws exist, are a thing, you should follow them, and then point fingers at everybody else, calling them every name under the sun to try to cancel them, outcry. You'll band together all over the place to outcry. But then when you're told about the laws, you ignore them entirely and then say, we can do what we want. 100% of your labor is ours for the taking. You're a glorified fucking pirate.
Oh, look at the balls on this guy! You're a glorified pirate, and you're a glorified mob committee. Quantum, you're not a content creator, you're a scam artist, and the problem with YouTube. You are but a festering wound on a platform that doesn't recognize that what you're doing is scamming people with shitty TV settings, as has been proven with other AV tech reviewers. Quantum, everyone who uses YouTube darn near about knows about copyright laws, and we know how they work. Also, if we followed your logic on fair use, then at least 4 communities on YouTube wouldn't exist. Gaming, T-channels, whatever those are, commentary channels, and movie review channels. To add insult to Quantum's injury, he also tried to claim copyright on an unedited clip from Disney's Frozen. As you can see, Quantum is a complete clown who I honestly can't figure out if he truly knows copyright laws and fair use or not, but whatever. From here on in the original video, he's basically going, oh, make your own content. It's not that hard. You're gonna be fought every step of the way. Oh, I'm such a victim. Oh! I honestly have to wonder how on God's green earth Quantum managed to make this video when he's being tickled this much. It's rather shocking. Hey, who knows? Maybe one day we'll all manage to get the new Quantum TV toy coming out, eh? The Thoroughly Tickle Me Quantum TV toy. I'd make it myself, but right now I have that Fire Emblem ROM hack to create with Quantum TV, and I haven't even started on it yet. This was a video that I had to make because it was just that bad and it spread so much misinformation that I just couldn't ignore it. And with that, we have come to the end of Quantum's video, which means we have now reached the end of my video, and that means I can get back to making that Fire Emblem ROM hack. Remember, if you'd like to help me out, please DM me on Twitter or ask me on Facebook. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye for now!